Happy New Year, happy 2026. I can't believe it's literally the new year. So let's get right to it. Last year was not my first ever year making a vision board. The year prior was. However, last year was the first year where I genuinely put a lot of thought and effort into my vision board, really understood what a vision board was about, and then spent the year actually manifesting and working on my vision board. If you want to figure out whether a vision board actually works, I'm going to break down the one I did last year, and we're going to see how much of that vision board actually worked and how much of that got accomplished within 2025. So let me grab my handy dandy iPad and let's go over the vision board. So number one was the overall aesthetic of my vision board. I really wanted to stick to more of the neutral tones, not necessarily neutrals just like beiges. I meant more like warm tones, like wood stuff, more like natural things, if that makes sense. With that being said, I did buy some home furniture. I did get some plants. And I really do think that the house overall has more of a natural vibe. We got a bed frame that's like a dark wood, which I don't think I would have ever even considered a dark wood at all until 2025. So I'm really happy with that. So I think that worked overall. So there were some things that I think came true and some things that didn't come true. And that's okay. I'm okay with that happening. I have the YouTube plaque here. Obviously, that did not happen because I didn't post that much on YouTube. I have TikTok here. TikTok was a big part of 2025 for me because I ended up completely switching my niche over. So if you've been here for a while, you know, and if you follow me on TikTok, you may have known that I did a lot of theme park content. I moved to Orlando to go to the theme parks all the time. And while I still love the theme park, if I ever decide to move out of Florida, theme park content would no longer be extremely easy for me to do anymore. The same way that I have an actual full-time remote job and I don't ever want to work in a physical office because I don't want to be tied down to the location of my corporate job. I also don't want to be tied down to a physical location, you know, if social media ever does become a full-time job. And I wouldn't want to be tied down in that way either. And so the more I thought about that, the more I was like, yeah, I should try and like slowly switch over from doing less stuff that revolves around a singular location and more around stuff that would give me flexibility. So I got really lucky. I went and bought a Nintendo Switch. I've always been into gaming. I had a PlayStation. I didn't have a PC. I didn't have a Switch. And so I wanted to try to play more of these cozy games instead of just all the games that I've been playing on PlayStation. And that video got millions of views. Which is insane. And I took that. I think this was what I thought the universe's sign was to be, yeah, you need to switch over to this stuff. It'll make you happier. Because while I was really happy posting theme park content and I liked going to the theme parks all the time, the actual theme park community is not very nice, and there are a lot of not nice people there, and there are a lot of really nice people. All my friends that I have are from the theme park community. Anyway, so I was just not having a good time in the community, and I could go on and on for hours about my experiences in the Disney community and the theme park community, but we're not going to talk about that. I decided like, yeah, this is a sign from the universe to switch over to gaming content, to at-home content, because that's kind of what I've been slowly leaning toward because of how well my content was doing on TikTok. And that's where a majority of my audience is. And so that's where I was really focusing on trying to switch over the niche to. It took up all of my time. And so YouTube really fell off. So the YouTube, it makes me sad because seeing this little vlog camera here on the vision board makes me sad because I feel like I missed out on a lot of different things that I did that I could have vlogged for YouTube, and it would have just been like a fun memory to look back on, if anything. And I didn't do that. So I wish I did, but YouTube didn't happen. I have a picture of some girls on here, like some friends eating lunch. And this was because I really wanted to get some better friends and gain like potentially a few girlfriends, you know, get like a little girl group. And I fully believe I manifested this because this did happen in 2025. And honestly, this is something that I'm most grateful for that did happen in 2025 is meeting this group of girls. And then when we're together, like, it's just a different feeling to have girlfriends that I didn't know I even needed or like wanted that type of relationship. This picture definitely manifested itself to fruition in 2025. I have a house on here. The house did not happen. We did not buy a house this year. That's okay though. That was very ambitious of me to even think that was gonna happen. But I will be putting a house again on my vision board this year because I will just continue putting a house on there. I have a car on here. Oh boy, the car situation has been insane. I've been needing a new car for the past 2 or 3 years now, and we did it. We bought a car at the end of the year in December. There were some things I can't go into. I went through a lot of trouble to try to get said thing resolved, and then unexpectedly, because I thought it was going to take a lot longer to get resolved, without warning or notice, it got resolved. I had gone car shopping earlier that year, earlier last year, still with intentions of getting a car. All that to say is that I am giving the vision board credit for how that worked out in my favor and that I ended up getting the car. Now, is it the car that's on this picture? No, because I decided I didn't want that car anymore. But nonetheless, we got a car. Okay, the next few things on here are like health. I have water, I have Pilates, I have foods in the fridge, like organized foods. I have drank a lot of water this year. I've made sure to drink a ton of water, but this year specifically, I have made efforts to bring a water in my car everywhere that I go, to get a small water bottle that I can put in my bag when I go to the theme parks instead of just dehydrating myself until I get home because I don't want to buy theme park water. In terms of eating healthy, I've also done that. That's more thanks to my partner. He has worked out nonstop, like he hasn't missed a beat. He has been consistent for over a year now. And with that came a lot of nutritional health as well that he was incorporating. And so I reaped the benefits of that. So I did eat a lot healthier. Pilates I had on here specifically because I wanted to try reformer Pilates. And I did. I ended up getting ClassPass for a month. I got the free trial and I went to different places and I tried loads of different Pilates, loads of different bar classes, mat Pilates, hot Pilates. I tried it all and I really liked it. So I'm proud of myself for going out by myself and trying these classes on my own. On here, I also have a desk with monitors and like leaves and pothos and stuff. I think I pronounced that correctly. I did build my very own PC last year, which is also just so crazy to say. Like, I'm really glad I'm doing this video because going over all these accomplishments, I'm like, dang, I'm really proud of myself for all the stuff I did last year. It's really easy for me to be mean to myself and to just be like, yeah, you did nothing. Like, you sucked. Like, what did you even accomplish last year? But then going through this together, I'm like, dang, no, I did a lot last year. Like, I am proud of myself. I have on here reading in a car, which actually kind of happened. I can't actually read in a car. Reading in the car was giving me road trip vibes with like a vacation dedicated to just being cozy and reading. And I did do that with my best friend. We went to this little cabin. I think it was about 2 hours away from here. And it was like this tiny cabin and we took a road trip there and we spent the trip filming some content, but also reading and cozy gaming and just chatting and having like the coziest vibes. And so that's also crazy because that was like a very last minute, planned it 3 weeks before we decided to do it. Like, it wasn't anything, it was more spontaneous. So that was insane that came to fruition. I had traveling on here. I didn't actually travel last year, so that is a big plan for me this year. I do want to travel somewhere. I obviously have money on here because who doesn't want more money? So you could say that I worked really hard to accomplish my goals in 2025 that I put on my vision board. But I also feel like putting it on a vision board, even if you don't believe that like, oh, a vision board is gonna make it come true, like it's not gonna come true just because you put a picture onto a board and you make a collage. You have to, in my opinion, work toward that goal still. Putting together a vision board and seeing it every day and really thinking hard about what your main goals are for the new year, I think really help you be able to nail down what you're working toward and kind of create like a generic path toward your goals, if that makes sense. I think the vision boards work. A majority of this vision board came true, which I am so grateful for and happy about. And like, I actually didn't even think this much of it came true. We're gonna do this every year because this was a really good forced reflection on the year before, which I probably would have just skipped over. I should do this. So I will be definitely making one for 2026 as well, just not in this video together. So now let's go to the office because I want to work together on some things we're leaving behind in 2025 and bringing into 2026. So there's a few things that I'm leaving behind in 2025, and there are a few new things I would like to bring into 2026. So I thought it'd be fun if we quickly go over a few of those things to end off the video. One of the biggest things that I really fell into last year was overconsumption, specifically with skincare routines. I didn't even realize it was possible to have too many steps in a skincare routine. Like I was like, surely everything that you put on your skin, like it's just gonna get absorbed. It's got to be good. Like everything that at least works with your skin is gonna be good for you, right? Like you would think. I had a trip that really stressed me out, and so I broke out a ton. And since that point in time, which was later in 2025, my skin was not doing well. And while I didn't change my skincare routine, I did add 1 or 2 steps. I had a very extensive, especially nighttime skincare routine. While I'm sure you can tell I'm still struggling with like the breaking out, and it's literally only on this side of my face right here. It's slowly going away finally. I have a very minimal skincare routine now. So I'm leaving the very extensive, crazy amounts of serums and all this other stuff. Like I'm leaving that in 2025. I'm not getting convinced by the overconsumption of you need this skincare, now add this to your skincare, add this to your skincare, because it can actually be bad for your skin. I don't know if that's what caused it, like just as a, I didn't go to a doctor, I don't know what caused it. I just don't really notice that much of a difference between using a ton of products from last year to the past few months only using very minimal products. Like I'm not noticing a huge difference in my skin. Working out, I know I worked out a decent amount last year. I know we already talked about that, but I want to try to work out more consistently this year. Specifically, I really want to try to get a routine down where I wake up early before work, take care of the dogs, have a bit of green tea to get my caffeine in, and then go into working out. Then I'm done with it for the day. And then I can't say like, oh, well, I'm hanging out with friends later and usually I work out after work, so now I can't work out, so I'll just skip today. Like that will no longer be an excuse for me. I want to do not a shift in my content, but I want to stop caring how people are going to perceive me. Like I feel like I struggle with letting my personality shine through because I'm scared of making sure that I'm super PC on the internet. And I need to just not care, and I need to just say what I feel like saying. And I feel like in general I do a pretty good job of that in vlogs and even like short form TikTok vlogs, but in sit down videos where I talk about gaming, that's where I really struggle with like having my personality come through, and like instead of just making it very scripted. I really want to work on that this year. I also want to start setting more realistic goals for myself. I love a daily to-do list. I really do love a daily to-do list. The problem is my daily to-do list will have 5,000 things I want to get done in one day, and I never look at it realistically enough to actually decide whether that's something reasonable I can get done in 24 hours or less because I need sleep. I get so upset with myself for not doing it, for not finishing the to-do list. And then I'm like, well, you know, instead of spending that 10 minutes you did scrolling on your phone, you could have been spending the 10 minutes to get another thing done off your to-do list. And like, that is true for sure. But I also need to stop. This is leading into another thing that I'm doing in 2026 is not being so mean to myself and being kinder to myself. And the last one is to stay more organized. Anyway, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up this year. Going on a cruise, which I am so stinking excited about. Like I'm a very unique type of cruise. That's all I'm gonna say for now. So obviously there will be a vlog. I don't know where else I'm going with this other than I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic new year. And I'm really excited to just be back on here and like hanging out. Like, I don't know, I missed you. I missed you and I'm excited to be here. I can't wait for a much more fuller YouTube year this year where I can actually look back on fun things I've done on here. Because last year was so empty. It was like a desert. And this is to us all enjoying, thriving, and living our best lives in 2026. So I will see you guys next week for another video and we'll talk then. Okay, bye. And so we'll talk then. So I literally hate outros. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm just like, right. Bye. Sayonara. Adios. Arrivederci. Like, I don't know what else to say. So, logging off. That was worse. Signing off. We'll figure it out.